Geek Out!
Hey, and welcome to another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
We're continuing our celebration of the 50th anniversary of Star Trek and the countdown to Star Trek Beyond with this, the fourth Star Trek film, Star Trek IV, the Voyage Home, which is the first Star Trek film that came out while we were all alive.
Ooh.
Christmas season 1986. So it turns 30 years. 30 years of Star Trek 4.
Is this the first one to come out when any of us were alive, too?
Yeah, because Star Trek 3 came out in 84.
Well, then definitely before us. Yeah.
So, yeah. This certainly holds a soft spot in my heart. It's one of my father's favorites next to Wrath of Khan, so we watched it quite a bit growing up. It's the most profitable Star Trek film of the time, though it didn't outgross motion picture if you adjust for inflation. But yeah, what do you guys think of it before we dive in?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but I do have memories of it being one of my least favorite of the classic crew. But I'm willing to give it another chance because it has probably been at least a decade since I've seen this one.
I've seen this one once before, and there's one scene that I really, really love. And because that one scene I really, really love, I call this my favorite Star Trek movie.
I call it a veiled attempt as a documentary for whales.
Documentary?
It can get a little preachy.
Yeah.
I think another sticking point for a lot of people is it doesn't take itself seriously at all outside of that message,
Yeah.
and so
I do enjoy that.
You have to refocus after the emotion, because Nimoy, who directs this one too, thought Search for Spock got too heavy, so he's like, well,
I think that was the big problem that I had with it. I was like, I don't want a silly Star Trek movie,
Yeah.
And
Or if it's silly, that's not the entire driving focus for it. A good mix. I'm always okay with a good mix.
Kind of a sense of humor, but not a comedy.
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. Well, let's get this thing going.
Yeah, so much like the others, we are watching the Blu-ray version of the film. Is there any director's cut or anything like that, Sam, that they need to worry about?
Not that I know of.
Alrighty. So we'll just go right into it. You should be good with whatever medium you're using to watch this. We have the movie all set to go, paused at all zeros on the counter. I'll give you a countdown and tell you to hit play in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, play.
The dedication was added because shortly before principal photography started, the Challenger blew up in February of 1986. One of the greatest accomplishments of Gene Roddenberry's professional career was having one of the space shuttles named Enterprise. But yeah, Nimoy felt that Search for Spock was too dark, because if you think about it, Kirk loses his fucking son, the Enterprise blows up. So he's like, well, let's do something light, and if we can slip in some sort of social conscious message in there, awesome. Yeah. Originally they were supposed to go back to the rainforest to find a rare bug, and Nimoy was like, nobody's going to care. And it's so much cheaper to film in 1986 San Francisco, and so that's where you get Star Trek 4.
It's almost like that Planet of the Apes where they go back in time to what was then modern day Los Angeles?
I think it was Los Angeles, yeah. It was that's Escape from the Planet of the Apes.
Yes. Even right now, it's just lighthearted music.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is the first one since the original where James Horner isn't doing the score.
Boo. It's no longer my favorite.
Now it's least favorite.
Yeah, it's my least favorite.
Worse than the motion picture?
No.
Yeah, because at least at that time they hadn't had the greatness.
Yeah.
This time they abandoned it.
But the Shatner wasn't contracted for a fourth Star Trek film. He was only contracted for 3, given the Star Wars Godfather mold. But for the first 8 months they thought they were going to decide to do a prequel set at Starfleet Academy, and we all know what happened to that. I guess 23 years later. But eventually, they both Nimoy and Shatner got big raises, and Shatner became contractually obligated to direct a 5th film, which is what will lead us to what we talk about next week.
Woo!
Such a fucking happy movie.
And yet such a boring like title sequence.
Yeah.
Like I feel like things were happening in the other title sequences.
Yeah, at least stars were moving.
Yeah. Like they couldn't even give us like the Superman like whooshing
Yeah.
text at us.
Give me the Windows 95 screensaver.
Yeah. With the actual Windows logo.
Peter Crikeys.
Shit, at this point, it's just gonna be flying toasters.
Nicholas Meyer, who directed and wrote Wrath of Khan, came back to write. He wrote all the 1986 sequences, whereas producer Harv Bennett wrote all the bookends. He wrote the 23rd century stuff. Giant dick in space.
Well, it looks like a giant dick.
In space.
Got him.
Probe. That guy had to dress up like a jackass. Everyone else could just be normal. Like, did they really need that? They needed that to complete the scene.
Yeah.
Fucked up Kung Fu Sean Connery.
He was in makeup probably longer than he's on set.
Yeah.
And way longer than he's in the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Especially for 86.
Continuing Star Trek 3's trend of having security footage just be footage from the previous film.
Get up! And then they died. Why are we investigating?
How did we get this footage of outside the Enterprise?
Seriously.
All the security cameras are wirelessly beamed. How did we get this footage?
Yeah, it's like an Invader Zim. They just have all the cameras floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Hold.
I said pros.
Terrorist.
Why do I have
I'm
to be
your
here
teacher.
for this?
I feel like that's most of the president of the United Federations of Planets' job.
Yeah. God damn it. Yeah, fuck him. Seriously, man. Fuck him. He fucked my green-skinned sister. Just in case you didn't see 3.
Or parts of 2.
Yeah. I will say the makeup, maybe because they're far away, but the makeup on him looks so much better than in the third one.
Yeah.
Looks so shitty in the third one, like unbelievable. Oh, what the fuck?
Daft Punk?
Those are so cool. Another reason why this is my favorite one. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, damn it. Gotta find out what those guys are.
They drew first.
Edge if it's let me say. Man, they really are just going to town on the summary of the third one.
It makes it a little more accessible.
Yeah, and I'm surprised at how much
Star
I
Trek
remember.
Star Trek 3 starts out with a captain's log of Captain Kirk basically, or Admiral Kirk basically saying the plot of Star Trek 2.
And that's not counting the television series.
Yeah, well, we all saw Spock's Brain. Don't watch Spock's Brain if you haven't seen Spock's Brain.
I don't think I've seen it. Hey, there they are. Oh.
Oh, damn it.
You missed the hairy Daft Punks.
Shit. I was trying to look them up on Google.
Daft Punk during their like hippie phase.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, from the same matte shot from Star Trek 3...
Get it.
Mutiny on the Bounty?
starring a lot of people.
Well, the film, yeah. There's an adaptation with Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's
And
an
Anthony
adaptation.
Hopkins.
Yeah.
No wonder Jake knows what it is.
There's an the most iconic, I think, is the Charles Lawton one. Mr. Christian.
Those hats are dumb. It's like Gene Simmons' tongue on top of their head.
Kiss.
Yeah. Scotty got like more unhealthy, and it's only been like a day.
Hey, you don't know what Vulcan cuisine is. It could be the most fattening thing on Earth.
I guess.
Or Vulcan.
How many days or weeks or has it been since the third one in this? In the universe?
According to the captain's log, 3 months.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
That's plenty of time to gain 50 pounds.
Yeah, but I mean, if Shatner didn't, I mean,
Wow.
then what the fuck? My jacket's fucking awesome.
Hey, it's that one rock formation.
The Vasquez rocks, which
Yeah.
showed up like half a dozen times per season of the original series.
And once in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
It's where they get thrown off.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
15 minutes into the movie. It's fine. / it's like 30 years old almost. Like 25.
This is how Human After All was made.
This is pretty cool because these are practical effects. It's supposed to look like holograms and rock on. I might already be changing my opinion on this movie.
They haven't made back to 1986 yet.
That's true. That's true. This could be just like Master of the Universe, where I'm like, everything that's on... what the hell is his planet called?
Eternia.
Eternia was awesome.
Yeah.
But the bulk of the movie was terrible.
Man.
Spa.
I wonder if he had what his time on set was like on this one, because like when he directed 3, like we were saying, like he's barely in the movie, and if I remember correctly, he's like a lot in this movie. So it must have been a very different working experience.
Well, I feel like that's why when they do go to 1986, he splits everybody up into teams.
True.
So yeah, it'll probably be the most. He has to trust the unit director a lot for the Spock sequences. But yeah, then he's got.
Well, if it was the same unit director as in 3, then it'd probably be pretty easy.
My thing is, I wish it was just Kirk and Spock in '86. The entire movie was that.
I like the
Double dumbass.
double dumbass on you. I like the McCoy Scotty team up.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. All Sulu does is steal a helicopter, and all Chekhov does is talk about nuclear vessels and get like a fucking head injury.
What an understatement.
Can we all just remember that it was like Spock's father who was the one that was like freaking out at Kirk for not
getting his Katra.
Yeah. So you can sit on your pedestal, Spock, about how illogical humans are and logical Vulcans are, but your dad was the one that was like pressuring Kirk to do something.
Well, and I feel like that's the Vulcan way, right? They like hold themselves up to this higher standard, but underneath it all, come on.
Yeah. Just like everyone that holds themselves up on a pedestal, they're fuck asses. Take
Asses.
that, Spock. They don't have emergency lights that kick on automatically? Pfft, even we have that. And it's just the 21st century. Right? Yeah. Yes.
I'm going through the alphabet of races that appeared in Star Trek by movie to see if I can find out what those things are called. Luckily, on Wikipedia, they have it by either episode or title episode and or movie.
That's Brock Peters, who plays Sisko's father on Deep Space Nine, a completely different character. That's a Conehead, I assume. Remember Octopussy?
Oh yeah.
That's Roger Moore's buddy that gets razor yo-yoed.
Oh shit. Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'm totally not reading a cue card off camera.
I don't know. It looks more like a Chipotle burrito in space, Sam.
You don't think a Chipotle burrito looks like a dick?
No.
No experience with chodes, Mr. Butler.
Oddly enough. No.
You should mention that. No. Wow. Okay.
Then you haven't lived.
Apparently.
Maybe we should go to Chipotle after this.
Good. There's one down the street.
Yeah, because I don't, especially we're trying to hit up the Bean. I don't know if we have enough time for I mean, we do for like a Glory Days thing. By then it'll be half off on appetizers too. Huh. Decisions.
This is why people listen to the commentaries. Remember, what was it? Waterworld, where we just talk like for a half hour straight, just talk about what we wanted at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
There's some fucking nuts.
Tweet at us if you have a favorite meal at 7-Eleven.
The reason, and it's never explicitly stated in the film, why Saavik stays on Vulcan is because she's pregnant with Spock's child from Pon farr.
What if like this podcast becomes like super fucking huge in the future, and we get like tweets 20 years from now about like our 7-Eleven order
I'm
from
okay with
Waterworld?
that.
How
Yeah.
fucking crazy would that be? Or we'll just fade into obscurity, like this actress who played person in
Ooh,
Spock
Saavik.
friend. I did say I like her better than Kirstie Alley. So,
Spock. Jim.
The guy at work had
More bogus journey references, please. I love it.
a guy at work had an awesome Spock, evil Spock like shirt, but it was like a billboard, like it was a wrestling match, and there was just the two of them facing off,
Nice.
or like it was like a boxing match. It was all done up in that style. Mirror's Edge, whatever, is that what it's called, or something like that?
Mirror.
Mirror. That's right.
Mirror's Edge. Puh. It's a video game.
I don't know this man. You talk to constantly in the films. Although to be fair, he did read that line like, I don't give a shit about this guy. So take us home. Fuck you, sir.
Oh my.
We're going backwards, now forwards. Bye, Lee. Where everybody knows your name, but you're not Kirstie Alley. Didn't she have that show like My Life as a D-list actress? Was that that was the other
Kathy
horrible
Griffin.
person. Yeah, there we go.
My Life on the D list.
Yeah.
Hey, is that Deep Space Nine?
Dubstep.
Or like Deep Space 7?
Wouldn't Space Dock be like Deep Space One?
I don't know. Is it Deep Space? Maybe
Yeah.
it's Shallow Space 1.
Hey, all you guys that like edit Memory Alpha or Memory Beta, let me know.
Tweet at us. So Sam, you know how you and I and probably a couple of other ones of us complain about how stupid it is for people to freak out over reshoots,
Yeah.
like with Suicide Squad, and
Yeah.
apparently Rogue One is the next one for people to.
They're built into the production schedule, guys.
Yeah. I saw that article that Disney's not happy with it.
Yeah, and if that doesn't tell you when we recorded this, then I don't know what will,
Yeah.
because it just came out today.
I would think that most studios, they built it in just as a precaution.
They do.
But when they have to use it, they're like, fuck.
No. It's constantly used because I can tell you as someone that makes movies and shit like that. You always forget to shoot things, no matter how well planned.
Yeah,
out.
but
or think you can shoot some things better.
You know this isn't a we forgot to shoot something.
But then there's also there's constantly like, hey, we threw together a rough cut of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's watch it. Do we need to reshoot anything?
Mm-hmm.
And they might say, yes, you need to reshoot it. That doesn't mean that like it's terrible.
No.
Or / that they were expecting it to not be as good. Because there are some things that you just have to see how they come together before you can tell whether they're good. You can't tell that they're that good on the day. Maybe
They should just
maybe
leave
shots
the
mismatched.
reasonings out. For
They are
reshoots.
left out. It just says that there's reshoots being
It's just
done.
mindless speculation on
Yeah,
why.
no, nerds are just complaining for the sake of complaining, like
Yeah.
they always do. This is why I sometimes hate nerd culture. Why am I on a podcast called Geek Out?
We're the worst.
Because you're a geek.
Yeah, I am a geek.
Just like all of us.
Yeah,
Let me remind you, you have a podcast about dicks.
yeah,
Discs.
yeah.
Either.
It's true, but you know what? If a laser disc had to get reshot
Fuck 'em.
for this terrible analogy, fuck it, cool, reshoot it, make it better.
Yeah. I think the big thing is that people now, like with social media and everything being like instantaneous, people know about reshoots more now than they've ever known about before.
Yeah,
and so
everything has reshoots.
they probably
Lethal
just-
Weapon had reshoots.
they probably just imagine. Oh, 2 definitely did. You would think, because
Yeah.
they had to fucking change the ending. But
Yeah.
but I think people before thought that like good movies were just made without reshoots.
Yeah.
Now again, is Disney probably happy that they have to spend more money on costly reshoots? Probably not. Does it mean the movie's going to suck? Probably not. But that's how people are.
Well, and considering how much Disney paid for everything Star Wars.
Oh, they made that money back.
Yeah, no, they
Yeah, I
made
don't think
Yang-
they
During
care
episode
that
7.
they're going to spend even more on
No,
it.
because it's factored into the budget too.
Yeah.
And I mean, not
Hey, it's the guy
necessarily-
from House on or Last House. Oh, the fucking house, whatever the fuck that movie's called.
The hills have eyes.
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah, that one. Shit, that even had reshoots
Mashing
probably.
I'm sure.
I don't give a shit about reshoots.
Actually, it might not have. That was a really crappy, like low budget movie.
Yeah.
Well, unless you're talking about the remake,
Yeah.
which might be the one you're referring
My
to.
thing is,
Well, you can always tape over things on a camcorder.
yeah.
You know what didn't have reshoots? No, I was about to say my movie, Zombie Night Theater, but it did. there was a tape that I accidentally completely taped over, and I had to reshoot an entire scene.
See?
Yeah, exactly. Everything has reshoots.
Yeah.
Off my soapbox. I'm gonna try to watch the movie from now on. And stay off my phone.
Originally, the studio, going back to the movie, wanted to add subtitles to the probe saying, like, "Where are you?" And Nimoy was like, "That's fucking dumb. You're not supposed to know what the probe's there for. That's why they figure it out."
Oh, that's like Dark City when they when the studio demanded to have that the narration at the beginning, or fucking Blade Runner, which ruined both movies. Well, not ruined, but made them not as good.
Mm. I'm Chris Claremont.
I work for Dick Jones.
How has that not been sampled to start a fucking Rob Zombie album?
Right? I felt like some drums should have kicked in right then.
John 5 on the go.
All the whales are gone.
Yeah.
Now, the crew of the original series had previously done the slingshot technique to do time travel ever since the first season of Star Trek. So there was definitely a precedent for it. Having said that, there's this weird transition scene coming up that's supposed to be what's happening in Kirk's mind while they're going through time that I thought was just the weirdest, kind of dumbest thing in the movie.
That's what I just said, Jim.
How many more times do you think they can say it?
Good thing we're the only intelligent people on the planet, and we're not even on the planet. How has someone not sampled that yet?
Maybe it shows up in Echo the Dolphin. I don't know. It'd fit right in.
Bringing back memories on Game Gear.
Was I the only person that didn't like Echo the Dolphin?
No, you weren't.
Okay. Because people seem to have fond memories of it, and I was like, that game was terrible. Or at least, rather, I didn't.
It could have been better. I do have. I think, like retroactively, I'm like that game maybe wasn't that great, but I remember as a kid I was like, I'm a fucking dolphin.
Yeah. I mean, I
could swim with the dolphins.
Sonic was a better game, and I hate that just as much.
Oh, I'm in the middle of writing a Sonic blog post. That'll probably be out right around the time this commentary posts.
I'll have to remember to read that one.
Oh yeah, I need to forward it to. There's 2 entries left, and then I can forward the draft to Ken and see what he thinks.
Mm.
Well.
Mm.
Now, first time listening to that, who here guessed whales?
Wait, are you speaking rhetorically? Or?
Like, how is Spock the only one that knew whales?
He ran it through the database. As
The
Spock
database told him.
as Spock just said.
Well, when the database came back, he was like, whales. Like, just as I thought.
Oh,
Like, he seemed like he knew.
well,
it
he's
was
just
whales.
Well,
he's just gone through a battery of tests.
He heard it and was like, man, it kind of sounds like whales. And then sent it through the computer, and it confirmed what he thought.
Mm.
I mean, I thought it sounded like whales.
So I'm the only one here who
After
didn't think whales?
After watching this film multiple times, I knew it was whales.
I mean, to be fair, it could have been Cardiff.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Looks like he's got a big Hershey's bar, like keeping his jacket on. It's all food with Star Trek. Got the creme brulee neck, which none of them are wearing right now. Hershey bar, magnet.
I think
thing.
Scotty is the only one that has it, but I don't even know if he.
Yeah, I mean, because they were all rocking it in 2
Yeah, and 3.
and 3. Yeah, I guess
Until they go out of uniform.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Those collars take about an hour to prepare. Red Alert, the video game, Command and Conquer.
Zing.
Superman pose, DeForest Kelly. Looks like Alien right now.
Yeah.
Dude, his pants are so high in DeForest Kelly. His grandpa pants.
He is an old man.
Yeah. Speaking of old men, today, when we're recording this, it's Clint Eastwood's birthday. 86!
Happy birthday, Jake's dad.
Eat a co-list. You can talk to Carlos, because I had a thing I posted, like, just for fun. I was like, here are my 3 favorite Clint Eastwood movies. What are your guys? And Carlos just wrote Heartbreak Ridge. And I was like, nice pull. Good, good.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Dirty Harry. Probably Unforgiven.
Yeah, I mean,
it's between that and Josie Wales.
Yeah, I mean, somebody else posted Outlaw Josie Wales, Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and High Plains Drifter. And for me, it was High Plains Drifter, Dirty Harry, and Unforgiven. But, like, any of those, I mean, are fucking just fantastic.
Back to the Future Part 3. I really want to see Revenge of the Creature because it's his first film.
He's a scientist.
I know I've said this in the previous commentaries, but they did a really good job on this Blu-ray of making everything really pretty. Like all these look beautiful.
The
like,
touch-up.
Yeah. And then the miniatures.
You get a bit of a Shatner going, you're like, all these look beautiful.
Yeah. The miniatures look like they were like miniatures shot today, not shot 30 years ago, 40 years ago. I guess 30 years ago for this one. And then, just scanned in. It's this is what the special edition should have been.
They should have a compilation of just all the times Kirk said shields, 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 and then just inner like cut Batman going shields, 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 shields. Bye.
I don't know if it's the lighting or the camera angle, but that looked like he had a shocked face.
Yeah.
Warp 2.
Sulu has one of my favorite lines one of my favorite Sulu lines is when they get to 1986.
Okay, Kirk, it's your turn to throw something.
In the script, did they give a reason why they chose 1986 specifically? Or did they just kind of have like a net out and 86 is where they landed?
It was a range, yeah.
Okay. They were like, we know for sure that there were humpback whales in the late 20th century.
Well, yeah, because Spock says they go extinct in the early 21st, and so they aim for a couple decades before. Also, conveniently shooting the same year as the movie.
Yeah, that's why I asked, like, in the script.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I was like, I understand why they chose it production-wise.
It's just the weirdest thing. It's like a fucking, like, Windows 95, which is impressive because this is 1986. Like, it's a fucking Windows 95, like, screensaver, which is the second time I've invoked Windows 95 screensavers.
Well, they were the best. Wow. This is like the improbability drive in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. I'm here. Mm.
It's so fucking weird.
And I feel like this is where the movie loses me.
And people had an issue with the third one.
Well,
It was too dark.
yeah. Again, my only big complaint about 3 is that it exists so much in the shadow of 2.
Wow. And this one had that sequence.
But I think 3 utilized the fact that it was in the shadow. You know, it knew that it was in the shadow.
And not to mention how much foreshadowing's at the end of 2. It's
Yeah.
almost like you have to take those plot threads.
Yeah. I'm having a spa day.
You interrupted my nap.
I don't know this man. Bill, I've been working with you for 20 years.
Probably like 30 or 40 at that time.
Yeah. And just like the look on Shatner's face, like he just refuses to believe that he knows fucking George Takei. It's Takei, like toupee. And at the end, he's like, fuck you, Bill, and the horse you rode it on during the roast. And he's not even trying to be like funny about it. Like his face is serious. Like he's like, fuck you. Wonder Woman. She probably read that in the script. She's like, God damn it. Now, you know that, like, there's at least one person who was, like, their job in life was, you know, like, working with whales. Their life was whales. They loved whales. And they were also the biggest Trekkie. And they saw this movie and they were like, sweet Jesus God, thank you.
Or there's that one person that, like, is just, like, a casual Star Trek fan, but they're, like, super obsessed with whales. And they're like, that's not a fucking humpback whale.
No.
Come on. It sounds like...
Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like, Chris.
Yeah.
In the originals, originally Eddie Murphy was offered the role of the marine biologist because he was a big Star Trek fan. He's like, I want to be an alien or I want to be a member of Starfleet. And they were like, there's no big enough role for aliens or members of Starfleet.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, well, fuck you.
Sound like Kevin Smith. Whenever somebody says something really interesting on the podcast, he always goes, explain.
Spock, you can't just walk down to a 7-Eleven and get plutonium.
Yeah, but it's still just a theory.
Just for some reason, that always
Yeah.
just stand.
Like, oh, good for you.
There is that whole stereotype about the city of San Francisco. And there's the fact that Sulu is a homosexual.
Well, George Takei.
Yeah,
Su-
maybe-
we
I'm
see-
sorry, yeah.
Yeah, we see Sulu's daughter in Star Trek Generations.
To be fair,
Proves
that doesn't...
nothing.
Yeah, that doesn't mean he's not. Just means that he has a daughter.
It's the future. Anything's possible.
It's happening today.
This is the sole reason I watched this movie, to see this happen. I remember we were like hanging out one day at Sam's place, and I was like, I don't even know how we got on the topic of it.
You had seen a Watch Mojo thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, Watch Mojo on like the best Star Trek movie or something like that, and they showed a scene of them in like 1986. And I was like, I gotta fucking know. And so I was like talking to Sam about it, and it was probably the happiest I've ever seen him because I was like, it's just like watch it. And you're like, yeah, you want to watch it? You want to watch it? And you like fucking like fell off the couch running to turn on the Netflix. He didn't really fall off the couch.
McCoy looks like he's slowly going insane watching that entire process happen.
Do you think Nimoy was happy that this means I don't even have to put on the prosthetic ears?
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I wish they dressed up like they wore like band T-shirts and stuff and like jeans. I wish they would have dressed up like that.
It was originally scripted that way, but Nimoy was looking at like people in San Francisco, and he's like, they wouldn't be too out of place.
That's true. I mean, like,
Yeah, it's like going to New York. This ragtag bunch could walk around New York
Yeah.
and be fine.
Like, I remember that scene from Beverly Hills Cop where he's walking down, I think, Rodeo Drive, and he sees people walk out dressing up like Michael Jackson, and he just, leans over laughing. So, yeah.
not Artie Lang.
Oh, Terminator's landing.
That's right.
He kicked over the trash
Did he?
can. Yeah, there's one trash can that fell the opposite direction. It fell towards the camera, and you can see his leg pick up, like going back down after having kicked it. Not Artie Lang. That was well done.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Too bad it wasn't a person there. She's like,
Too bad it wasn't not Artie Lang.
yeah, seriously. Like, I'm still not convinced it's not Artie Lang, because even though I know it's not, but just from the silhouette, it looks exactly like Artie Lang. The funniest laugh of all time. Although he'd never be in San Francisco. He's a New Yorker all the way.
When you're a jet all the way.
Luckily, he's a Giants fan.
Yeah.
That's why I love this movie. Yeah.
It's like the beginning of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
See, I was just about to say that, yeah.
I would. You know what? I'd much rather be watching.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Turtles.
Jose Canseco back.
It was night when they landed, right?
There it is.
When they landed, sure.
Yeah. Double dumbass on you.
They've been walking for about...
This is like Lethal Weapon before Lethal
An
Weapon.
hour, 2 hours. They had to park away from San Francisco.
Yeah, I assume it was an hour or so. It's like dawn. It's
Yeah.
early morning.
Also, they just time traveled, so, nothing really is real. Bros before hoes. They probably enjoyed, like, getting out of the fucking sets and the ships and stuff, I would think.
Yeah.
Double dumbass on you. What if any people just yelled that at William Shatner?
I feel like I'm going to yell it now if I ever get the chance.
Like, I know what his final line is because I've seen, like, clips or whatever, but his final line should have been, "Oh, double dumbass on you." It's genius. I feel like that's a good trade for, like, a fucking pawn shop.
So he...
This Captain Kirk is like the soccer mom, or like the mom,
got
of
all the allowance.
the field trip, the tour guide,
So
chaperone.
He basically just created the incident that will allow those to be given to him as a birthday gift.
It alludes to it. I mean,
Yeah.
the lenses are broken though. When McCoy gives them to him, they're intact.
Well, between
It's
this
fine.
and
There's
that
several hundred
point,
years for the lenses to be
But
repaired.
they're antiques.
Yeah.
So that means
I mean,
they're
even in
Now
1986,
they're
they're
double
supposed to be.
antiques. A whale of a good time.
well, other than the script telling me it's on the bus.
And it also had that old-timey ooga.
There was a deleted scene right here where Sulu meets his great-grandfather. But the kid kept crying, and they didn't have an extra one. That's where it would have cropped up right after that. Originally, she wasn't supposed to say anything because she's just an extra, but Nimoy liked it, so he kept it in, but he had to pay for her SAG membership. Because if you have recorded dialogue, you're automatically in the Screen Actors Guild.
Yep.
This is where I wish the whole movie was just this. I'm on a bus, learning about the world. That's it. The most heroic thing in any Star Trek movie.
The inspiration for that was Nimoy ran into like the punk scene in New York City, and he was like, if I was actually Spock, I would nerve pinch the shit out of him.
They just hit a person.
Yeah, it's 86. I see it says sometimes necessary.
Social commentary.
Yeah. Was Kirk born in... Where was he born?
Iowa?
Iowa. Slipknot?
Yeah. And Seth Rollins. Wrestler. One of the best. He's back. It's great.
Yeah, but is he prototype?
Last night I discovered that John Cena's original ring name when he was in the Indies is Prototype. Oh, I didn't send you the Randy Orton's final match in this indie outfit before he went to WWF at the time was against Prototype, and it is. I mean, it's Randy Orton versus John Cena. It's where the rivalry technically began.
Oh, I hate Randy Orton.
Well, he looks dumb.
Good.
Dumber. Somehow.
Legend killer. Hello.
Like I said, it can get a bit preachy.
And graphical.
Yeah, you get to see that whale blubber. Just like I get to see Josh have the same facial expression as those old ladies.
That's a lot of blood.
Mm.
Message.
Ooh.
With a tagline or something. The Voyage Home. Whoever said the human race was logical?
And we've decided to keep them in captivity instead of releasing them because we're better than everyone else.
They get released.
I don't get that dated reference.
George Burns and Gracie Allen.
Oh.
No, we're having fun.
This was before Blackfin, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not SeaWorld. We don't keep them against their will. Make them do tricks for people.
I mean, they
We
did
give
just
them
show
to Starfleet to save the world.
like a 2-minute video of all of them being slaughtered horribly.
Yeah.
I guess slaughtered horribly is almost an oxymoron. Just slaughtered. It's
Bring your
it's,
daughter.
I
bring
mean,
your
yeah,
daughter.
like, can you be murdered horribly?
Yeah. You can be murdered.
To quote Captain Kirk in That Which Survives, Season 3, there are no good ways, Mr. Sulu.
This, folks, this is what saves the human race.
So, 12 to 72 minutes, then.
Oh,
No one's
yeah.
counting, Sam.
Get them Nimoy legs.
I can't take that kid anywhere.
I know you get banned from SeaWorld for less.
Just don't make...
Frankly,
Just-
we don't give a damn.
Damn it, lady.
Remember, like in Star Trek 2, when you pretty much lied about how long it was going to take the ship to be repaired? No, that's right. You can't tell lies.
Yeah.
Starfleet regulation if you're being monitored.
Yeah. And also, to be fair, I guess technically that was a different Spock.
Yeah.
If you want to get into the philosophy of it.
That Spock knew how to say Jim.
feel like we just started a movie that we didn't realize we started.
Yeah. My dick. Oh, wait.
So is this a really shitty romantic comedy or a film about saving the planet with whales?
Why not both?
Stalker much? Wouldn't he have to be wearing green?
She's about to run over all of those geese, and she doesn't give a fuck. Because
Pigeons.
they're not marine life.
Or whales?
Whales are part of marine life.
This movie crosses off the birds and sea life items on my list.
There
by
you
the
go.
way.
I think first Star Trek movie to do it.
I think only.
Hence, now I get it. Now I see why it's your favorite.
Wrath of Khan's my favorite.
Now I see why it's one of your favorites.
I think we're coming up on the scene that you were looking for, Jake.
Ooh.
How quickly she befriends the people that she just kicked out of the institute.
Look at how close Spock and Jim are sitting. Like, there's clearly room for him to move over a bit. Glad to see the Sarah Connor hair still in full swing.
This is just a couple years later, right?
Yeah. 2, right? Is it 2? 84 is the first Terminator?
Well, down on the cue card reading.
If you have a photographic memory, then why are you so good at remembering things you heard?
Shh.
Yeah. No, ma'am. No dipshit.
So, Starfleet wouldn't be the military?
Not the military as she knows it.
Huh?
Ooh.
Back at my ship.
There it is. No. Spock just fucking stays with no. After clearly he said yes multiple times. He's just no. And then there's a silence and he goes, no. Lexicorp with the P in front of it?
P is silent.
That's right. Yeah. I'll get you, Palexicorp. Isn't it Wizit?
Oh, he has a badge that tells everyone that he quit smoking. So proud of him.
I wonder if he loves whales as well.
Hating smoking. Quitting smoking is one of the hardest things you can ever do. Have $1. There's a deleted scene where Sulu actually steals the helicopter, as opposed to the theatrical version where he just kind of has the helicopter. Like,
Those few questions involve acquiring a helicopter.
Does it look like I'm joking?
Well, yes. But I don't think Scotty can help that.
What a weird way to crack your knuckles.
I think it was discovered like 23 years after this film came out, like theoretical transparent aluminum. So it's, I guess, possible.
Oh yeah, I don't know, a lot of technology and things like that owe their existence a lot of times to Star Trek.
Oh, flip phones, automatic doors, tablets.
Women getting respect in military institutions.
Sure, we'll give that one to Star Trek.
It's happened there first.
Interracial couples being acceptable.
First interracial kiss between Kirk and Uhura, season 3 of the original series.
I hope that woman really loved her role. And I hope that's all she does in this movie.
Fuck it. We'll say he did it.
Spock's Mind episode or brain.
Oh, smart ass.
I would never trust her
The
ever.
pizza or the Michelob? It's still not really an answer.
All of it. There's only one thing on that pizza that I like.
What was it?
Pepperoni.
Same.
You can pick the rest of the stuff off.
The
Or
lots
I
of onions would be a problem.
Yeah, or I could
Mushrooms.
just order a separate pizza where I don't have to pick anything off.
Mm.
Are they both trying to see who can oh, okay, there we go. They're like both like rubbing their hands the same way. It's just like a staring contest
I
with
hope
their
it cuts
hands.
back to... Damn it! I was about to say, I hope it cuts back to him and
He's doing the
have his
Brett Favre
hands-
clap. The power of James T. Kirk.
I just snapped breadstick in half.
Yeah.
My own hands.
Technology for this isn't available for another 300 years.
He has a right before he drinks the beer, he has like a really dramatic and then goes for it.
This is probably what it's like to hang out with William Shatner back in the day.
Not yet. It's coming. He'll do it again. He has to react to the Michelob first.
Is she from this era? What the fuck?
I don't think she has a grasp
Yeah.
on how to speak.
His mom. Fucking mom, what are you doing? Kirk out, god damn it. I feel like that's how the Batman 89 style Star Trek for the Voyage Home teaser would start.
No, Spock's all ears.
Ugh, that's the kind of writing that would go perfectly with this script.
I get it. Well, he does it again.
It's dramatic. Drinking.
Yeah.
It's the intense.
That was that whole scene about me getting money.
Which I still should theoretically have.
Yeah. Who knows if he has enough, though.
Aw, cute puppy.
I smell Russians.
They're called commies.
Pinko
And to be
commies.
fair, it's just one.
It was pretty progressive for Star Trek to have a Russian crew member.
It was a publicity stunt. The idea that because Roddenberry originally lied to the press saying that he had gotten correspondence from the Soviet Union complaining that there was no Eastern European representation on the Enterprise. Obviously, he didn't actually get correspondence from the Soviet Union that there was no Eastern European, but like the show would broadcast behind the Iron Curtain. So, but that was the story. He also made Chekhov look like Davy Jones from the Monkees.
Yeah. When did Chekhov get introduced into the show?
Season 2.
Right from the get-go?
Yeah. Those brake pads sound terrible.
I mean,
It's
the
actually
thing,
probably a tension belt.
that thing looks like it's gonna fall apart.
Oh, she likes whales.
She doesn't just like them; she loves them.
She hearts them.
That's right. That's right. Look at McCoy. I just don't know why it's so funny. He's like, yeah. Look at this shit. Captain Morgan's pose.
He's just getting all the poses this movie.
What if, like, instead of, 2 when they kill Spock, they kill Spock at the end of this one, and then Star Trek 5 is, like, Spock coming back, and instead of him going, Jim, your name is Jim, he goes, double dumbass on you. Da-na-na, and then fucking the movie ends.
But double dumbass on you, Jim.
That's right. So's your stash. So's your face. So's your face always works.
I wish I was Ray Fiennes.
Yeah. Seriously. Looks like something out of Ghostbusters.
Scotty, can you hear me? Judy.
Commander. don't know if we mentioned this on mic, but didn't he end up marrying a fan of his?
Yeah, in the early 70s. I think he had, like, when he died, one of his kids was still, like, 5 years old.
Mm.
And he didn't die of, like, an accident. Like, he died of natural causes.
Yeah. Who was the original cast? Morbid, but who was the original cast to pass away?
DeForest Kelly.
DeForest Kelly. Okay, so I figured.
That's why he isn't in Generations, because he's too sick to be in Generations.
Too bad. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
He's, like, the oldest person on the cast.
Yeah.
Like, he was getting close to 50 when Star Trek went off the air originally.
Oh, damn. So he's, like, into his 60s. Is he into his 60s? Yeah, well into his 60s by this point, right?
Yeah. By the time...
But he's in the first 6, though, right? Like
he's in
not
all
like
he's in all 6, yeah. He's in all 6 and shows up in the series premiere of Next Generation.
That's his last Star Trek.
Old man.
That's his last Star Trek thing.
Chronologically, yeah, but Star Trek 6 comes out while Next Gen's on the air.
Oh, okay. That must have been like the best time for Star Trek fans.
Yeah.
Didn't everybody else who was alive at the time go to George Takei's wedding from the original cast except William Shatner?
Nimoy didn't go.
Oh,
either.
Nimoy. Okay, that's right.
He expressed his regrets.
Yeah. Just fucking makes so damn funny that Shatner says he doesn't know George Takei. That'll never get
But
old.
then
to me.
complains that he doesn't.
Yeah, didn't get like the wedding invite or whatever. Like, oh, what a fucking. That's the funniest thing to me. His best acting. I don't know this man.
Kind of looks like Gosling.
Cheer up, Sleepy
Run,
Gene.
little man, run.
I think the best year to be a Star Trek fan would probably be like 94, because you've got Generations, you've got the end of Next Gen, because Generations combines original and Next Gen, but Next Gen goes off the air and Deep Space Nine premieres, or is in its second season.
All in 94?
All in like 94, man.
How fast was production on Generations?
It was in production the same time as the back half of back 9 of Next Gen.
Oh, wow.
They had to slightly alter the Next Gen sets to fit the Generations aspect ratio.
Because it was wide.
Searching for that button.
Little light.
I usually don't.
forms.
I usually don't touch these.
That's one of my
buttons.
least favorite parts in Generations.
I believe that's pretty much everyone's least favorite part of Generations. I love it.
So much for the media circus.
Well, that's awkward. At least they got that guy mopping, though.
Oh, that's why we set up that character earlier.
I think that relationship's over.
The slap was improvised, so he's like genuinely like, oh.
Nimoy probably had to pay extra for that too.
I know. For me, it's an extra $50 for a slap. She just really does not like pigeons.
She doesn't have an I Heart Pigeons thing on her car.
Are they whales?
Yeah.
Then no, fuck them.
Yeah.
Oh my!
It's like Green Berets. Oh shit! We're going down.
In the 23rd century, we wouldn't have rain.
Yeah.
I don't know what a windshield wiper is. Let me go to the crazy person in the field.
Thank God nobody goes to this park.
Yeah, really.
Right?
Except trash collectors, but I think they've stopped.
A little nippy out there.
Is she
Wait
gonna
for
clunk
it.
into it? Oh, poor girl. That was some acting.
Here we. Oh man.
Ooh.
I love that. I mean, of course it's still there, but I love that the trash can's still there. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's fucking great, man.
Continuity where it counts, not anywhere else.
Oh, that shouting that I've been able to hear this entire time? Oh, that poor girl. She's acting her heart out.
Where's the security feed for that television coming from?
I'm being broken up into millions of pieces. And she just vomits all over him.
That's what I would expect.
Yes, it is.
I'm just gonna have a complete mental breakdown now.
Props to Sulu for like getting that into like an invisible ship.
Yeah.
Like he has no fucking idea.
Well, that's why Scotty was up there.
Yeah. But still, it'd just be looking like half a man standing in front of him.
Yeah, well, they're from the 23rd century. They can handle that with their brains.
I guess.
It's our brains that can't.
He's not thinking 3-dimensional or 4th-dimensionally.
Howdy do. How did she get off the ship just fine?
They can only beam one of them up at a time.
Oh, I must have checked out when they beamed her up.
It's probably all the lead.
Well,
All
radiation.
the plot point.
But I still won't call you Jim.
Hilarity ensues.
I'd love for like when this was on television and like someone doesn't really know that much about Star Trek, but they know a little bit, and they turn on the TV and they just think this is some random episode of a medical drama, and they're like, they got a lot of the cast from Star Trek in this.
Or they have characters from MASH show up in
Yeah.
this. The crossover you never knew you wanted.
After MASH.
Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition. Sound like he almost flubbed that one.
Yeah.
He could have said anything and would have flown.
I just love that little aside. Just, what'd you tell him? Cramps.
With my salt shaker of doom.
What is that, a gun?
I forgot how silly their phasers looked like.
He's using a Klingon one.
Oh.
Action.
Even sillier.
Yeah. No wonder why they don't work properly around radiation.
It's just like if a doctor from our era went back in time and was like, leeches?
Bloodletting.
I thought that was still common practice today, though, in some cases. Well, leeches.
You can still have it done, and it's kind of like a more homeopathic treatment. But
There are still people that swear by it, but I mean, that's
Yeah.
like, that's, it's
Dumb.
like, yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Oh.
Why didn't they just transport them out of there?
Radiation?
they do.
Why didn't they just transport them out of, like, the room?
Lead line radiation
Probably-
hospital.
Well, I think more so the medical staff and the whatever the fuck couldn't see him do it. Because they do it in a secluded area.
Touche. I'll accept that answer.
They also have to have this little Benny Hill chase going on.
Thing is, didn't McCoy give her like an entire? No, he only gave her like one or two, right? Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't.
There was a sound effect of the pill bottle going back into
Okay.
his
He
purse.
didn't change medical history too, in addition to engineering history.
No. At worst, they could examine her kidney and they could reverse engineer what cured her. Or at best,
Or she claims she has a whole new kidney.
I grew a new kidney. Doctor gave me some pills and I grew a new kidney.
My God, it's not how dialysis is supposed to work, but okay.
Well, dialysis isn't what happened to her.
He isn't going for dialysis.
Oh, I
He's
know.
replacing her kidneys.
He
Yeah.
scoffed. What's the frequency, Kenneth?
Tweet at us if you know.
4.1 megahertz.
No, now we're going to be merged into one person.
Yeah,
Some
worse things have
horrible,
happened.
grotesque being. Didn't you see The Fly? By this time, I think they had a remake. Well, no, that was like 90. Still, They had
That's
the
80s.
first one.
First one was 80s, yeah.
You ever seen The Fly
Goldblum?
2? It's fucking weird and
I have
crazy.
a statue from The Fly too.
Do you really?
Yeah, The
Oh,
Fly.
man.
Oh, hey, look, people in the park.
They get for exercising.
Well, there
Go to a
has to be
gym.
there for people to witness it landing and people there to witness it taking off.
Pretty sure my dad has shorts. Has shorts like that.
Mm. So you can see all of his Jack Stones.
Those Jack Stones are the reason why I'm here.
Oh, yes, that's right. It's a sea creature. I guess we do need some sea.
Superman.
Back to the Future Part 2. For the light of the navigator. You live and you work it again and again till you get things right.
Oh, we've been asking that same question this entire time. Just go with it, lady.
Yeah, at this point, come on.
So, what about all the, like, space diseases that they have?
Or whatever immunities that they've developed over 200 years.
Yeah.
Just go with it.
She's going to die. The whales are going to die.
Maybe they'll just inoculate the shit out of her. So that's like the first thing that happens when they bring her back.
Yeah. Bones just a giant cocktail of vaccines. Then turns out
That's
that
like
she's
when,
like an anti-vaxxer, and they're like, "Fine, die."
That's like when you get sent overseas, like in the military and stuff. They just hit you with like all the fucking shit.
Oh yeah, it's like a battery.
My dad said it was like a straw getting injected to your ass cheek and getting injected with peanut butter. He's like, it was like the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Now it's just a pill.
This is your Jaws 4 moment.
The whales are just going to blow up for no reason.
And roar.
Yeah, Jaws 4, they straight up get like Ursula.
In a whirlpool?
They get stuck with the front of the ship. It's like massive.
Oh.
And she has a flashback to Chief Brody going, "Smile, you son of a bitch." Which I think is like the coolest line ever.
And then they're like, "We're going to need a bigger boat."
They miss and teleport up the whaling vessel.
I like how it's almost like these whalers, like, they're like, "Oh, finally, there's some new whales in the sea. Let's go attack them." Those two specifically. While we're here, let's go ahead and just drop a bomb on the whaler ship.
She just moves up next to Kirk. "So, where are the weapon controls on this thing?" "Oh, well, they're right over here." She just starts slamming on buttons.
Huh.
Doesn't look surprisingly bad for 1986. Looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying the whole time. Okay, they're spinning the wheel, but they're not doing shit. I mean, look at the background.
This is my least favorite Scotty line, but it's James Doohan's favorite Scotty line.
Yeah.
Him doing a countdown.
I wish.
Countdown's better than what comes after.
They actually teleported whales for this scene, guys. It was a disaster.
He should have done one at a time. And maybe water first. Okay. Okay. That was a line.
That's what this movie is.
And then killer.
Don't fuck with this.
Yeah.
I'm having a moment. I hope you would either way.
Yeah.
Now they're even more in captivity. They can't even swim around. My dick. What?
In case we weren't subtle enough about this.
Hey, is that a dead horse? Someone give me a club so I can beat it some more.
Star Trek 4, save the fucking whales.
Star Trek 4, The Quest for Peace. That's true. They will need someone that knows a thing or two about whales in the future.
I think they call them archaeologists by that point.
No chill.
Don't tell him. Tell the people up there.
Like she can help him. Dead.
Finn.
Roll credits.
Well, we don't even get to see it.
Thank God we don't get another one of those weird transition scenes, though.
Yeah, seriously.
This time it's the other woman.
It was
It's
just
nothing
a
but
zoom
whales.
in on the sun. Did we make it? Are we back?
Chipotle.
We can go.
Got me hungry.
I've lost control.
Don't stand by a fucking window.
Well, they were reinforcing
It
it.
doesn't matter. They're too dumb. Not in Star Trek world. You never step in the window. Never.
Oh, it's the foggy season in San Francisco.
Oh, shit.
Ah, a pleasant landing. Ugh. That was it. That's the hatch. That's what's keeping them safe from the vacuum of space.
Yep.
Klingon vessel.
Yeah. For the order. Just someone spinning a thing and just gone, dead.
Well, Mr. Scott's probably dead.
Well,
It's cool. There be whales here.
Admiral, there be whales here.
As far as the last lines go, he could have had better.
As far as any lines go.
He does have a line after that.
Nope, that's it.
I mean,
Oh, I was
there's
half
that one.
right. He was somewhat gone.
Already gone by the Eagles.
'Cause I'm already gone. Yeah, wonderfully monotone.
Mm.
And then he just lets go and it snips her in half.
Ooh, here we go.
I have to get my shirt off somehow. Just throws it at Scotty.
That jacket's worth something, Kirk. Sell it on eBay.
He's worse than that guy that's playing Grand Moff Tarkin in the
Rogue
new
One.
one.
Oh,
New
gets
yeah.
his cape wet?
Yeah.
Fucking asshole.
You know, after but when you mentioned that, I'd only seen the trailer once and I hadn't even noticed it. But now every single time I'm like, why? Why are you doing that?
You know what's funny?
Like,
After
literally, it's just like an inch of his cape. He could pick it up.
later, I was listening to the Kevin Smith, Mark Bernard, and Fat Man on Batman where they talked about it, and I think I don't know if it was Kevin or Mark, and they were like, "And he gets his cape wet." I was like, "Yeah,
That's how you know he's a bad guy.
yeah,"
doesn't
and
give
a
a
psycho.
Yeah.
Vader would just use the Force to lift it just enough so it doesn't get wet.
Peter Cushing would never let that happen.
There's a scene where Shatner pushes Nimoy into the water. Nimoy's wearing like a full fucking robe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Robes absorb water. He almost drowned because it like almost weighed him down.
It's like wearing blue jeans. Da-dum, da-dum.
Thank you. We're confused.
So basically, the probe is Voyager waiting for a response from its creator, and in this case, whales?
I suppose maybe maybe the whales created.
I mean, who knows if it actually created it? But the same like concept of like the probe is waiting for
some sort of contact.
Yeah, just like Voyager was waiting for a response. The same fucking story.
Yeah.
I think we established motion picture is basically the same fucking story.
Yeah, but well, I was so hung up on motion picture being the exact same story of one of the episodes that I forgot that we established that it was the same plot as this movie. Before we started with this, for the life of me, I couldn't remember why the whales were so necessary. I was like, God.
Just on a lark, they're like, dude, let's go get some fucking whales.
I feel like that's how the script was written. Yeah. Is it just going away?
Yeah.
Do we never find out what the probe was?
It's always a mystery.
It's the fucking monolith.
It's yeah.
No wonder Josh hates this movie. He doesn't like answers being left unanswered. Questions being left unanswered.
God damn you, space Chipotle burrito.
Burnt space Chipotle burrito. Ah. And then they break into so long and thanks for all the fish, even though that was dolphins. And then it destroys the planet. So is this going to be like 2001 where it's just like a 20-minute sequence of no English?
Or like Star Trek the Motion Picture where they're just going around the Enterprise for like 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Not quite that bad.
Well, off to another civilization to destroy.
Now to find another place where there aren't any whales. Now it's a didgeridoo.
Dear God. There is no hope.
We failed as a species.
Okay.
Crisis averted. Now blow it out of the star system.
Turns out that probe is just a missing part of like Voyager 12 and that had whale songs. I'm pretty sure Voyager has whale songs on it, so
probably. Yeah.
Why not?
You can have your mushroom space station back.
It decides, you know what, fuck that thing, and just flies right through
From
it.
one space dick to another. But I want to know what Daft Punk has to say about this. Yeah, finally, someone help me up. Oh, or okay, fine. They're acting like they've never seen water before.
No.
No, please God, no.
Now,
Yeah.
how are those whales going to repopulate?
They're very pregnant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They could also
Drown, you Vulcan bastard.
they could also theoretically clone them now that they have the genetic samples, right?
I got your
With
genetic
enough
samples
variation
right
so
here.
they just don't keep
Right here.
mating within the same family?
I mean, you could. I mean,
You
sure.
have to
Or
start
whales
somewhere.
can do that.
Not to mention with they could probably alter the genes.
Okay.
Also, that what you're talking about
Whoa,
does
what the fuck? That's
take a
awesome.
little bit longer than
It's
just
that guy's
one
story.
generation to really like have like horrible, consequences. If you start from one, no matter what, every theoretically a new species starts from one, and it has to keep breeding within itself until it can get the variations that get rid of those weird defects.
Hmm.
Or, that don't allow for those weird defects. Souffle.
Mr. Spock, you died. You don't exist.
And also saving the entire world.
And resurrecting a Vulcan. Oh, and bringing someone back from the past.
I'm sure that's a violation of something.
The temporal prime directive, specifically.
They're not on a
That's
Class
a
M.
thing?
Watch some more Deep Space Nine, son.
They're not a Class M temporal time
No.
frame. Oh.
It's about time.
Oh no, that's not Daft Punk.
Why not?
Star Wars did it.
There they are.
I don't know what it is, but get rid of it.
Whatever it is, kill it with fire.
And if that doesn't work, some other element. Try water. There's been enough of it already in this film.
You totally can.
Please do. I like how she has, like generic future space age suit, jumpsuit, costume.
But her hair stays the same. And that's
Yeah.
what counts.
Because it's rocking. And then we don't have telephones in this century, so it makes sense. I'm sure it won't be hard to find him. He's fucking Captain Kirk.
She never ends up finding him, does she?
Could be in between movies.
Who the hell knows? Not as far as we see.
He's like Bond.
Well, I'm trying to think in that later one with Picard. She's never referenced, is she?
No, it's some different lady that
Yeah.
he's married to or engaged to or whatever at the time.
Yeah.
Banging too. Both look like they're like the same age. Except for Papa over here has gray hairs, but they both are wrinkled the same way.
I think there's only like a 7-year difference, yeah.
It's like on the Golden Girls. Wasn't the oldest character actually the youngest actress?
I wouldn't be surprised. I know Sean Connery's only 11 years older than Harrison Ford.
Mm. Roger Moore is 5 years older than, or 2 or something like that. 3 years older than Sean Connery.
Hey guys,
And another 5 minutes around the Enterprise.
remember the last time we were here? We shut everything down and escaped and caused hell for everyone.
Didn't you say, Sam, that Sulu gets the Excelsior?
Yeah, he's commanding it in Star Trek 6.
Yeah. Whoa!
Where did they find that bucket of bolts?
Smithsonian, that's where you can find the model.
For that specific one, or
Oh, they did it before Star Wars.
I think the TV show one.
yeah. Sorry, they did what?
Oh,
before
that
Star
old
Wars?
TV
He
theme.
said, "Gentlemen, we're home," or something like that.
Chewie, we're home.
I mean, weird if he said Chewie.
Yeah. It's a cute pet
bet-
name for Scotty.
The bridge looked cleaner.
Yeah, well, it's brand new.
Yeah.
What the fuck is this?
It's the Rocky IV kind of like pictures. at the
I
end.
know, but like it classically, like it better end on my face. There beware her.
The man waiting all of his life to say that one line, and that's the face he gives.
But yeah, man, that's Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home. What do you guys think?
So
It's fine.
I'm looking forward to 5.
It wasn't as bad as I remember it being. I still
Still think it's too silly.
yeah. To be fair, my memory of it was like more slapsticky. And it wasn't that bad. Like it was, not to be too full of punniness, but it was a fish out of water story because they're in, the 20th century. So yeah, there's going to be some hilarity in terms of their not understanding how things work and stuff like that. So it's unavoidable if you want to make it real. So, having that in mind, like, I guess I gave it more allowances for the humor that's in it. And I misremembered how silly it was. So it's better than I remember, but I think it's still on the low end of like my preferred Star Trek movies. I'll wait until I rewatch 5 and 6 because 6, it's been a while since I've seen that one. I do still stand by my 5 being my favorite.
Yeah, it's fun. This is the last of the classic ones I've seen, so I've never seen 5 and 6 before. So
Get
Who
ready to
knows?
meet God.
who knows? Maybe those will be the ones. But yeah, no. I mean, I think the fish out of water stuff's pretty funny, and it's I like just having the classic crew together and not having much of other fucking people involved. Get them out of here.
Yeah, it is nice to have a smaller cast. Joshua? Beyond just
Fuck
looking forward
whales.
All right.
to
Well,
he is a single issue voter.
there you have it, guys. So,
Does it have whales? Fuck that movie.
yeah.
Hated Finding Nemo.
Probably hate Finding Dory.
Chris Evans is back.
Yeah. But yeah.
Actually, I didn't really care for the turtles in those ones.
Well, speaking of movies that are coming out soon, or I guess by the time this posts have come out already, I'm not looking forward to Ninja Turtles 2.
Neither am I. I know I'll see it probably eventually, but fuck me.
Yeah, I mean, we're getting it at my theater, so I'll probably watch
Ralph
it for free.
McQuarrie.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Star Trek 4. Good time. Lighthearted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Check it out. Well, I guess you have. 'Cause you just
Yeah.
fucking did it with us.
Check it out without us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. So this has been another Geek Out commentary. I'm Sam.
I'm Chris.
I'm Jake.
I'm Josh.
Live long and prosper.
I hate you.
This has been another Geek Out production. If you enjoyed what you heard, hey, we've got a new commentary every Monday. We've got a special episode every Friday. Of course, there's the usual catching up show every Wednesday. And you get book club episodes just about every Tuesday these days. Thanks for listening.